Hi everybody, we are here in Sugiyot. We're going to talk about altruism, which depends on extreme egoism. I know it's complicated, sounds like philosophy. It's in the Ma'amar Tet, the 9th chapter of Ma'amarei Sulam, or you can find it in Matan Torah. Egoism המשפחתי ואגואיזם הפרטי. First, Rav Ashlag will break it down to what is family ego and personal ego. So you say like this, לא ניתן האגואיזם המופרז לבריאות רק להתפתחות האהבה. The reason the egoism, which is too much of what people are using, was given to people is only to develop the love. Sound weird, right? ודומה הדבר כמו שנרצה לנטוע אילן מאכל, הרי אתה מוכרח לפצוע גרעין המיוחס לאילן הזה. So before you planting a seed that can bring you apple fruit or peach or whatever it is that you want, you first have to find the seed that relate to that. ואחר כך על ידי העבודה והתפתחות, after the true working on yourself and developing yourself, you have the merit to see the fruit. כן, לצמיחת אהבה, צריכים על כל פנים גרעין מסוגל אליה. So if you want to develop love, you have to have the same seed that relate to it. It seems not clear, so we have to develop the point. ואומר לך, and I will tell you, Rav Ashlag, שהוא האגואיזם, that's egoism, that ego, הפרטי, the private egoism, עם כל החסרונות שבו, המתגלגלים, with all what missing within the ego, המתגלגלים על גלגל הקנאה, that is coming from jealousy, תאווה, lust, כבוד, pride, אחר כך, על ידי המשפחה, מתפתח האגואיזם הצר ומתרחב על כל המשפחה. Then that egoism is basically through the family is being developed and is affecting all the family. כי אוהב את אשתו, כמותו. Because then he can love his wife the same, or he love the husband the same. אחר כך את בניו כמותו, then he love his children the same, or she love her children the same. ונמצא האגואיזם הצר להתרחב לשטח רחב. So we see that the personal egoism is now spreading out to love more people. It's kind of shocking, right? I mean, we always judge egoism to be bad. וזהו, and he continue, וזהו שהוכשר בטבע האחד, כלומר הבהמי המשותף, אחר כך נמצא סגולה בבין האדם להזדקק לחיי חיבור. אני תרחב לו האגואיזם להקיף את כל השטח שכניו. And because the human being needs society, need people around, then the egoism help you to spread out larger than your family. Neighbors, tribe, and everybody. Tremendous section, by the way. I hope it will do well here. העיר או המדינה, either to be big in the city or the land or the globally, ובהיותו שטובתו הפרטית לא במידה ברובה בכל הציבור הזה. Because how are you going to get what you want for your ego, or what you want for your money, or what you want for yourself in general? Not just pride. Ego is not just pride. Money can be ego too. You need to survive. It's about you. So all of this depends on the people around you. And this is the second level, which is naturally. אחרי זה מתחילה העבודה להתחזק, להבין אשר גם הגרים הבאים רק אתה להתיישב בשכונתו, צריך לשרות עליהם אהבה. Then you have foreigner people who come to live in your street, in your neighborhood, people you don't even know. You have also to give them love, כמו על בני עירו, like the city people that you already know you. הגם שאתה עניים הם, even the people who joining your state or joining your city, they are poor, they have no benefit that they can give you. עולם בדרך, החכם אליו בראשו, but as we know that the wise person has his eyes in his head, meaning he see ahead what's going to happen, אפשר להזכיר שבדרך הזמן יכולים להתעשר ויהנה בקרבם. He can think that those people in this street who are very poor eventually will become rich. I love that section because many times we judge people who are thinking about themselves. But people who don't think about themselves cannot love other people. That's the ruling. If you never think about yourself, you can never think about others. שיעור אהבה. בסדר החינוך מקרב הרבה. דהיינו להבין השיעור בשלמותו שהוא ואהבת לך כמוך. Let's go back to the מצווה say Rav Ashlag, love the neighbor as thyself. שמתחילה נאמר, ומבשרך אל תיעלם. In the beginning of that concept of מצווה, say in Isaiah 58, from your flesh you should not ignore. דהיינו רק בני משפחתו, meaning you should not ignore your family, you should not ignore your wife, your husband, your children. You have to take care of them. ועל זה אינם צריכים להראות שיעור, אמנם על חיי ציבור צריכים להראות שיעור, ואהבת לך כמוך, וכן על הגר ואהבת לו כמוך. When it say your family, he doesn't give you limitation how much you care about them. When he tells you about your friend, he says, love the neighbor as thyself. When he tells you about stranger, he says, ואהבת לו כמוך. Love him at least as yourself. Why with your family there is no limit, right? שבתחילה צריך להתחזק באהבת עצמו בשיעור מלא. Because it's a tremendous revelation for Rav Ashlag. It's like a modern, people tell me, Louise, hey, Tony Robbins, here we're talking about 1922, a revelation. Look what he say, מתחילה צריך להתחזק באהבת עצמו בשיעור מלא. Selfish people can love you more than non-selfish people. מתחילה צריך להתחזק באהבת עצמו בשיעור מלא. כי טבע האדם בנעוריו להיות עצל. A normal human being are lazy. אפילו במה שמגיע לטובת עצמו, even what's good for them, they're lazy. You want a glass with the ice water. You have to pick yourself up on the couch, go, good, yeah. ואהבת בהפקיר הנייחלה. And it's saying in מסכת גיטין, it's saying in מסכת גיטין, ואהבת בהפקיר הנייחלה, in page י"ג עמוד א', it's easier for a person to keep his place of work and that he can be his own boss, because if he's own boss he cannot ever sit still. ועל זה הוכנו קנאה, תאווה וכבוד. And for that reason there is jealousy, there is lust, and there is pride. Without those three aspects you would never get off the couch. Why would you get off the couch if you're not looking for pride? Why would you get off the couch if you don't jealous from your friend who get a better house, better things, better everything? Why would you get out of the house if you not lusting something, you have a lust for something? So all those things that seem negative actually to build us up. אחרי זה צריכים ללך במדרגות. After you reach all this level of selfishness, you have to go step by step. אותו שיעור שכבר השיג והרוויח לעצמו. Same level that you benefit yourself, love the neighbor as yourself, or love your stranger at least like you. It doesn't mean that שצריך מתחילה לעבוד שאוהב את עצמו. It doesn't mean that now you should be busy loving yourself. כי גם אדם מועל ומענה את אהבת עצמו בכל יום מטעם העצלות וההפקרות. Because you can cheat yourself and say, hey, I'm sorry, I cannot help people right now because I'm busy loving myself and then I will love others. You can fool yourself, say the Zohar, you can absolutely fool yourself. אז אפשר לו להרחיב אהבה לזולתו. When you already take care of yourself, give yourself a certain time, now you're happy, you took care of yourself, now it's time to take care of others. תבין, וזה תבין, and you will understand, that altruism, am I saying it correctly? Altruism, a real one, altruism meaning love of the neighbor. תלוי באגואיזם. It's depending on egoism, meaning it depends on how much ego you have. A tremendous amount of ego will give birth to altruism. But of course, if you get stuck in egoism all day long, you can never give birth to altruism. You need the beginning as egoism, as thinking about yourself, that you can give birth to altruism. But if you are too much busy with yourself and you want to continue busy with yourself for the rest of your life, you're never going to get to altruism. But the first aspect is egoism. כי מי שלא השיג אהבת עצמו, whoever never reached to love themselves, במלוא מובן המילה, and absolutely all the word, אלא הוא בחינת הפקר, הוא אדם של מה בכך, and he's taking himself very lightly, I'm nobody, then he cannot do a lot. ודאי שאין לו אפילו הגרעין של אהבה. That's mean the seed of love he doesn't have. ומי שהולך ומרחיב את אהבת עצמו, but if you love yourself so much and you want other people to love themselves as much as you love yourself, אחר כך על ידי חינוך הולך ומעבירה לעבוד זולתו. through the education, study of Torah and changing, הוא האדם הגדול האמיתי. This is the real big person and it's very very important. So a great person is not a person who's just nice to everybody. A great person is the most selfish person who's able to move from from egoism to altruism. That's a real person. If you see a person who's just nice all their life and they don't have ego and they love people, no big deal. Nothing is there. הטעות לבטל ה-nationalism. This is very philosophical section, very interesting. A lot of people want to cancel the nationalism. Nationalism, you know, like לאומנות. I would say לאומנות. You say nationalism in English? A lot of people want to cancel the nationalism, and that's the biggest mistake, say Rav Ashlag, כי a lot of words using. Internationalism. You have nationalism, meaning your own country, and you have internationalism, meaning the global nationalism. Let's say, I don't know how to look at it, like the global consciousness versus your country consciousness or your culture. For example, Sephardic Persian eat rice on Passover. That's your nationalism, and Ashkenazi don't. That's a nationalism. Global thing is very different than the nationalism, because nationalism is your country, your street, your minagim, your tradition. ובזה תראה הטעות הגדולה לבטל הנאשונליזם בעיקרון האינטרנליזם, המוצלח תלוי לגמרי בנאשונליזם המוצלח, כאן להכל צריך ואין כאן דבר מזיק רק לסדרים ולחינוך הנצרכים. So if sometimes the nationalism will not work with the internationalism. You know, if we are, let's say I'm Jewish, so I'm Jewish, my nationalism is, I'm Jewish, I'm Israeli, that's another nationalism. So if I go and live in a country who disagree with my nationalism, it creates a problem. So what Mystic say, Rav Ashlag? Chinuch, education. Once you have enough education, the internationalism will not disturb the nationalism. Woo! That's a philosophical discussion here, right there. צריך לזכור. הכלל שאין דבר מאוס ומזולל. There is nothing that מאוס, there is nothing that unwanted ומזולזל, and something which is disrespectful, רק בפירושם, בשיעור הזה כמה מועיל פה. We only need to look at what damage and what built, but we cannot look at something that's bad. היופי וכל השבח למשל, שאין די בו שבח לשמור על הגן מיופי ועידור, שאינו מועיל לצמיחה. Nothing is more important than to keep a beautiful garden and stay a beautiful garden. You keep it nice. And to prevent whatever prevent this garden to look nice. ואדרבה, כל זה ולרוך משבח ונהל הגן. More than that, every type of garbage and dirt, which is good for the garden, מאשר מועיל לבנצחו. You take a garbage from an animal, you put it next to your flower, because you know that will help it to grow. ואם אנו מעשים באגואיזם, if we cannot stand the egoism, הוא בשיעור שהוא מזיק ליישוב העולם. We look at it as a damage the world. אמנם בעודה לנו אותה מלאכה, איך לנצל את האגואיזם עצר בשביל טובת היישוב, הנה ודאי לשבח ויופי ייחשב. וואו, 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 what a revelation, guys. I don't know how many of you have been farmer. I was a farmer for 4 years, amazing. Still looking forward to become a farmer when the time permit and when I have a big land. So a farmer take a waste of animal, I don't know if you know that, and put it next to his vegetables to make it grow better, because the nutrition there help everything to grow better. Rav Ashlag refer that organic garbage, if you want to call it, into egoism. And it shows you that the egoism can make everything grow if it will be managed, if it will be done right. Because we are trying to remove egoism because we think it's disturbing the world. But if we learn to use the egoism for the sake of society, it will be great. What a revelation, no, Debbie? Don't you think it's I read 1,000, I never saw that. כי כל המרבה לאסוף את כל הרווחים הקטנים עם הגדולים וכל המסוגל לתועלת הרצויה, הרי הוא ממהר מבטיח את התכלית המקווה. Whoever is collecting good, small, then small thing, big thing, always the result will be good. וכל המתעצל, או עונה נותן לב לנצל את כל דבר שראוי לנצלו לטובת המעיל, הרי הוא מרחיק את התכלית וגם מזיקה. And whoever is lazy, whoever is not busy for seeing the good in everything, even within the egoism, it cannot grow, and cannot make the universe grow. ומזה יוצא לנו חוק מוחלט. Now we're coming to the ruling of Rav Ashlag saying, שהרוצה הצלחה בעסקו. Somebody who want to be successful in his business, אל יחמיץ אפילו דבר קטן. Don't disrespect small thing, הראוי לנצלו לתועלת עסקו. If you are not taking every penny that can help your business, then the big things also will be prevented. Where do we learn it from? Vegas. Vegas, you have machine who take $20, $20,000, and you have machine that take 1 penny. They want it all. אין נאמנות בשכל, משום שהשכל אינו שולט בגוף, ואין לאדם אמונה ונאמנות לזולת על שמירת עצמו, צריך רחוב בזמן שצריכים אליו, לטעם היותם מוכנים כן בטבע, והוא כוח גופנים בעל השליטה. It say, what is this telling us? The desire is the roots of the brain, And the brain is not the roots of the desire. Many people think that the mind controls your desire. Rav Ashlag revelation in this last generation was the revelation that many people disagree with him. And he's saying, no, the desire controls the brain. It was a big argument on that. Everybody agreed that the brain defined the desire. I said, no, the desire defined the brain. Your thought process based on what you want. If you want a certain thing, your mind will lead you how to think, how to get it. And it say, Mishum Shasechel and Shol Baguf, that was the big argument with Rav Ashlag. He said the brain is not control the body. The only way you can get absolute control if you watch yourself, and watch the people that you love around you, that they need you, because God sent those people to you by nature. And this is the power that you have and you can control it. Meaning your control comes from desire. I want to sustain the people around me. I want to sustain me. And then everything starts working. ויש אמנם עוד מקום אמונה הראוי לשקול באדם בדרך קניין. והאמונה בהשם יתברך. And now is ending the most important thing. And something that's a spice that makes everything work is אמונה בהשם יתברך. To have an absolute certainty, belief, faith in God. אמנם בחברו, אף על פי שקנו בו אמונה, מכל מקום אינה נאמנות, משום היותם בהכרח תלויה בדבר. To believe in a human being, it's nice, but the reason you believe in that human being because you benefit from them. You wouldn't believe in them if they damage your land or they damage your property or they damage your money. You can't believe in them. Human being is based, if they do good, you believe in them. ואין לך דבר שיהיה נצחי. There is nothing that will live forever besides God. ומאלה שגם האמונה אינה נצחית. For that reason, if the people are not live forever, then the faith can never be forever between human beings. You cannot believe in people forever, because they're not God. ועל כן, אין כאן נאמנות, משאין כן מהשם יתברך. Only something which is נצחי, something which is have eternity in it, you can believe in it in an eternity way. Something that doesn't have eternity, you cannot believe in an eternity way. I don't know if it's clear because it's unbelievable stuff going on. הגם שתלויה בדבר. Second reason, you cannot love a person if you don't benefit. I don't care, it's not just money. You enjoy being with them. They're funny. You enjoy getting a drink with them. Okay, but you have joy. מכל מקום ראוי הדבר להיות נצחי, כמו שהשם יתברך הוא נצחי, ועל זה אמרו במסכת פסחים, תוך שלא לשמה בא לשמה. But eventually the friendship between people has to be as the friendship with God. And of course, because God created a human being, if God, which is nitzchi, which is have eternity, eternal, because God is eternal, He creates things potentially that is eternal in them, like the soul. So you have to find the connection to the other person's soul, and that it's based on real thing, and that will last forever. Thank you so much.